Yes, my people, as it dey hot, it don't happen. No, the Obidati app, when they call the Townhall app, it don gain over 30,000 downloads in just less than 2 or 3 days. Hey, and they say Peter Obi no get structure, and they say now online na we take get our power, so we just be 2 people in the side room. So this 30,000 downloads in just less than 2 days, na 2 people abi. Man, not talk too much, my obedient family. Just dey share this video, and many people see them at DM. They talk say they find a difficulty to register or rather to download this video. Make I not talk too much. Valentin Ozigbo, which is the head of technology for the Obidati campaign, he won't tell us how to download this app and what the app see all about. We want to recap again. And please, we not talk too much. Make una just share this video. Make we pepper them. Share this video, my obedient family, as the hot when I watch it. And please watch to the end so that you go understand this app. Watch to the end.
And I am excited about the acceptability so far. Just within a few days, we've gotten over 30,000 in terms of downloads and many more. And hopefully, as we also update the app, because we're also receiving feedback that we need to improve upon, and which is fantastic. And as that progresses, the whole idea is let us know who is where, who is in which polling unit, who is in which ward, which local government, which state. And how do we engage? And so we will be coming up with a lot of creative ideas on how to inspire everybody and get them to really do the needful. Don't forget, in the past, we've never had even up to 30% voter turnout. The numbers are usually very limiting. And this year, out of the 93 million voters, how do we make sure? Because we know that majority of people who are eager to get their PVC for the first time are obedient. We know that. We also know that even for those who've been voted in the past, a lot of them are waking up to the reality. So it's to advantage to see that many people come out on that day to vote. And if we're able to move the number to 50 million, 60 million, that will be unprecedented. And that will make sure that the win will be clear and decisive. And for us, the best way to get all these people out on that day will be technology. Yes, we're also aware that there are some locations where this technology may not have permitted. Of course, we don't expect the 100% of Nigerian voters to be fully tech savvy. But for those who know, they will also explain to those who don't know, who are not hooked on. And ultimately, you will see that technology is the way for the future. And for us, who are also we're movements of the youth, the younger generation. Of course, we can tell you across all the other demographics, obedience is catching up everywhere. But for the younger ones, they have that burning zeal. They are eager to see this change. They are maybe even most tired of the status quo, and so the anger in them can be organized into a proper structure, which will transcend the type of structure that other parties have always boasted on. So for us, indeed, it's a game changer, and we're seeing that play out as we unfold.
Well, thanks for trying to explain that. But for people like myself who sort of advance arithmetically, whilst people like yourself obviously are advancing geometrically, I'm rather curious to know how exactly it's going to help propel P2B into Aso Rock, because that really is the bottom line, isn't it?
Yes, it's mobilization. So if you download the app, what you are going to get is, if you open the app every morning, you will see your polling units. You will see every other person who also has downloaded this app from your polling unit. And you can start off a conversation. Hello, we should meet this morning. Okay, I'm somewhere here. And it's just like being in a WhatsApp group, okay? But this one, the same thing is happening in every other polling unit. So you're not going to get somebody that will spend their time creating different WhatsApp groups. No, this is now automatically done. Just the moment you fill in your details, including your personal profiles and where you have registered as a voter, it will now aggregate all that. If you want to have conversation beyond your polling unit and you want to have at a ward level, as you get in there, every other person who has registered within your ward, it becomes a town hall. And you can also move your activities that are offline onto online. When you go take picture, record meeting, you can go and upload it onto this online. So those who couldn't be at the offline meeting can see what happened and get educated. And by the time we start pushing out awareness educational materials, people can catch up with that, and we will give them instructions. This is what you need to do this week. So by the time you have all that, you are creating massive awareness. You're organizing people, you're empowering them, you're inspiring them. And what else do you need to do to make sure people on that day will come out? So beyond that is on the election day, we will use that to signal where issues are coming up. Materials haven't left the center. Network is not working in this polling unit. And so by the time we synchronize that with our situation room, it will give us a much higher advantage. And of course, even post the election, this is what we can also use to gather information so that in case anybody is doubting our win, we will be here to obviously evidence that out.
Well, I have to say, it sounds very interesting and perhaps crucially quite innovative. But let's go beyond the app and the digital space and help us sort of assess how your campaign is progressing towards the 2023 election, now just a few weeks away. I mean, are you happy with the pace of your progress, or are your efforts stuttering a bit?
I am excited, Charles. In fact, watching and being in some of the rallies from Delta, what happened in different locations in Delta, from Abo to Warri to Asaba down to Anambra State, between Oka and Onitsha, and then getting to Enugu, from Nsukka to Enugu, and you can see the massive enthusiasm. It can only tell you that Peter B is a phenomenal human being who has achieved and attained what I've not seen any human in Nigeria attain before. The level of acceptability, the pure love, pure compassion you see. And don't forget the other big parties we used to know. If you have an idea how much they spend to get people on board and compare with the organic love that people show P2P, the difference is legendary. And I'm excited. I'm excited because every single thing we've seen on various polls being affirmed. Every poll we've seen so far and going, and I'm sure many more polls will come out before the election. You will see always a gigantic win for P2B in the southeast, in the south-south, most likely in the north-central. And then when you get into southwest, he still continues to trend upward. And who says he might even beat BAT Shiwaju in the southwest. And in the northwest and in the northeast, he's also again trending up. There's still a bit of a lethargy in some core north, but I can tell you the feedback rate, the intelligence we're getting is exciting. So in terms of simple majority, I don't see anybody who even comes close. But in terms of the spread, which is where a few people had expressed concern, we've also identified some states in the northwest and northeast that will make that a clear possibility. So what we're seeing here is P2B winning on first ballot. So all we're now doing is to make sure that that win is not even in any way controverted. We don't want anybody to be in doubt that he has won. And this is why we need to organize properly. And come on, what has changed? The anger in people is still there. Look at all the news headlines we've been reading about, even what you spoke about just a few minutes ago about education and health. I'm waiting to see what my dear friend Senator Tejoshi is going to say here, because I know how terrible things have become. So the anger is still there. People are boiling. If you see what is happening at the centers where they're going to collect the PVC, perhaps you media should do some exit polls and checking those people picking the PVC, who are they going to vote. You can see that this election has already been concluded. It is just for us to make sure that whatever other plans they have for violence and for vote buying, all of that, are further frustrated. And I can bet you, when they see the dominance of people who are coming out for the right reasons, I can tell you all those other plans will fall flat. So I'm very excited with where we are, and I think in the next couple of weeks, things will even get better. Hopefully, who knows, maybe the other two candidates may decide they're not running anymore.
Well, I think the prospect of that is rather unlikely. But in a moment, I want to talk to you about those concerns that you raised. But the fact, of course, is that, I mean, Valentine, as you know, we in the media, we talk to all the different candidates and their supporters and the people who work with them and so on. And all of them would pretty much say things along the same lines that you're saying, which is that theirs is best and theirs is likely to come out on top. But of course, as ever, I mean, there's more heat than light when it comes to knowing for sure which of the candidates has the upper hand in this election. And I'm sure even you will admit that.
But let me say this to you. Forget about what people who are close to the candidate, who are paid to speak, what they say. Forget those. What I'm saying here is, don't even take my word. Go on the media, social media, for instance. Get the hits. If you see 3 billion hits on P2B, you probably will see 200 million hits on Atiku and Bola Tinubu. That's the margin you see. That's the point I'm making. You get polls from independent, in some cases, polls even commissioned by the opponents, and P2B is leading. That's what I'm talking about. You hear the legends of, Obasanjo endorsing P2B, Clark endorsing P2B, Pa Adebanjo endorsing P2B, and now just this morning, Professor ABC wants to send me is throwing the towel from being a BOT member of PDP to because again for a reason we know, also backing P2B. And when you also see all the geopolitical areas coming on board, when you see the youths rising, when you see foreign medias from Times of UK and all that, everybody saying the same thing, how can you compare? Don't take what those surrogates are saying. Take what people are saying, and then do your homework, and you will see clearly the difference is indeed light and day. P2B is the best choice for all the reasons you can see. What is about the character and track record is number one. He will tell you what he has done, and he will challenge you to go and verify. He will point to all the things he plans to do in the future and link it up with what he had already done. That's credibility, that's integrity. He also show you the vision he has, especially moving Nigeria from consumption to production. He will show you how he's able to maintain transparency, and he's not corrupt. Nobody can bet, everybody understands that this is one man who can fight corruption head on. The others don't even have the courage to muster that word. They can't, because we know it's impossible. What I'm saying to you here is that if you look at all the reasons to look, whether from the character, competence, capacity, capability, compassion, love for country, Peter is number one. If you're looking at those who are looking at from subjective consideration, things like where you are from, for the unity of this country, for fairness, equity, justice, we know where the next president should come from, and P2B is from the right place. Even though he will be the first to tell you he's not running for this election because he's an Igbo man or from the south, he's running because he's the most competent and most qualified, and everybody understands that. But if you also even bring all the other sentiments that are mundane, religious sentiments, against his advantage. So the issue I'm making here is whether you're objective, whether you're subjective, and if you want to be honest to yourself, if not for selfish reasons, if not for self-interest reasons, I can tell you, even those on the camp of APC and PDP will come to the same conclusion, that if you really, really want a better country, P2B is the man. That's why he is being celebrated already across diaspora, local, across the media, across all demographics. Anybody who does what I'm saying, go do your own check. Don't take my word. Just go out there and test the waters. Charles, I challenge you this night. Go onto your social media handle. Put it out there. Who do you wish to be the next president of Nigeria? Come back in the morning and tell me your results.
Right, okay, but we've just got a few minutes left. As the drumming is starting to sound more urgent, and I can see you're obviously excited, but so are all the other sort of members of the other parties. Election day drawing nearer. What are your big concerns about this ballot? What do you fear could go wrong and upset the apple cart?
I don't see anything that will not make P2B win this election. However, I see things that give me concern in terms of, how they may impact on the safety of people. When I see INEC offices being burnt, when I see the insecurity across Nigeria, it worries me. I know some of these things may even be, again, some who think they can leverage bad incidents to their advantage may be responsible. Because, I mean, a lot of what is going on doesn't make sense. They don't make sense at all. So, but the fear that I have is to the extent that we do not have any reason to lose any more life in this country. It worries me. But as to whether this election, I honestly don't think that a lot of fears that people have are founded. If you think money is going to play a new role, you're wasting your time. I think what INEC has done, they've done a lot of fantastic things. They have empowered the voters by taking things to the polling units. It is the polling unit that will decide what happens across board. It doesn't matter who you know in INEC, who you know in the security agencies. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much cash you have. Because people are tired, people will vent their anger on that day by coming out massively, and they will see through that their votes count. And when they do that, they will see the result, and before you even know it, we will know the answer everywhere, because technology will be there to tell us what is happening in every polling unit. And when that happens, trust me, Charles, you'll be excited that a new Nigeria is upon us.
Right. Well, we've got just about a minute or so left, so if you could keep the answer reasonably brief. I was going to ask you whether or not, because there's a lot of rumors flying around about discussions with other parties and alliances, potential alliances likely to be forged, some of the smaller parties wanting to merge with the bigger parties, rumors again of the Labour Party and the NNPP talking to each other. Is any of that true?
Well, I honestly don't know. It's not my forte. I don't get involved in those conversations. But what I can tell you is anybody who wishes for a better Nigeria will come on board to join P2B and Labour Party. And anybody who is looking for money because of the hunger being impoverished already will be talking to APC and PDP. That's all I can tell you. But also, please, let me also use this opportunity to tell people that for those who are still looking at old pictures of P2B, either in PDP or some who are thinking, no, P2B is in Labour Party, LP, that's what you're going to see on the ballot paper. And for those who, again, who may need further clarifications, is that symbol you have the man, the wife, and the child. We call it Papa, Mama, Pikin. I want to make it that obvious so that everybody can pass on this message that that is the party to go for, Labour Party and no other party. The others stand in the past and Labour Party is for the future.
Okay, Valentine, I want to thank you very much indeed for taking the time to talk to us. Valentine Ozigbo